Hi, it's Miss Kai with a quick tutorial about how to change a string on your instrument. So, as you know, this is a violin. They come in all kinds of different sizes, but some of the violins, especially the student violins, have 4 tuners on them instead of just 1 tuner on the top string and then no tuner on the bottom strings. Today I'm going to show you how to change the string with a string that does not have a tuner, and then I will go over the things that are a little bit different for those of you that do have a string that have all 4 tuners. I'll show you that on my daughter's violin. So today we're going to change the G string. Okay, so for all of you who are parents, and this is for parents to do, this is not something that the younger kids should be doing themselves. If you're an older kid or older child, you can do this as well, or an older student, you can do this as well on your own. So our strings are from the top to the bottom or from the left to the right, if you have your instrument against your body, are E, A, D, and G strings, okay? And usually when we tune, we only tune 1 string at a time to make sure that the tension stays constant, or as constant as it can, so that when we do loosen one of the strings, the bridge is not going to fall, okay? So let's get started. So each one of these strings corresponds to a peg, okay? So we went from the left to the right for the strings, E, A, D, and G, and for the pegs, they start here on the left side at the bottom, E, A, D, and G. So E is the lowest on the left, D is the highest on the left. E, A is the highest on the left, D is the highest on the right, and G is the highest on the bottom. Okay, and so for later, just so you know, in case you need time to download the app, we're going to need a tuning app or a tuner if you have one, a tuner that allows you to play and either hear all of the sounds so you can match it, or it has a strobe tuner on it so that when you play a note, like my A is out of tune because I just changed it, but like an A, it'll tell you if it's flat or sharp. We'll go over that at the end. Okay, so we're going to be tuning the G string today. So remember, that's the lowest string on the right side, the thickest string as well. E, A, D, and G. So to do that, what we're going to do is loosen the string. We're going to remove the bottom of the string here from the tailpiece, okay? And then we're going to, we've unraveled, we've removed it, and then we're going to remove the entire string, and then we're going to replace it with a new string, okay? So these are the strings that I'm going to use, but you can use whatever string that you have from your program, or from our program. All right, so let's get started. So we're going to find the peg that corresponds with the G string. So remember, E, A, D, G string is going to be the one that's the lowest on the right side. Again, if you're holding the violin at your body, okay? If it's facing you, it's going to be on the left side, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is loosen it. And so you can see what I like to do when I loosen a string is put one of my fingers underneath just so that I make sure that I can guide it. Now, to loosen the string, you're going to turn the peg towards you, okay? When you tighten it, you turn it away. So to loosen it, we're going to start to turn the peg toward us, okay? Beautiful. And we don't want to take the peg out almost ever. If it comes out, it's okay. You can just stick it back in. But we want to try to keep it in there so that it's nice and secure. And as you can see, the string here is starting to unravel, okay? But I've got it firmly here in my fingers. All right, here we go. This is so exciting. All right. You can hold it in between your knees, okay, as it's coming out, or whatever you need to do to have a nice secure grip so that we always protect the violin as well, or viola. All right, so we've got it out, and then we're going to come down to the tailpiece, all right, and then very carefully draw the string down to the wider portion of the tailpiece, okay, and this might be easy or hard depending on your tailpiece and the size of your string, okay. I drew it down, and then I'm just going to pull it right out there. Okay, so we're going to grab our G string, our replacement string for whichever it is. This process is the same for whichever string you do, but remember, we only change how many strings at a time? Just one, okay? So here's my G string, and usually you can tell if you have a new string by whether or not the colored part is straight or if it's curly, okay? Because usually curly means it's been used at least once. So string has two sides, as I just said. We've got the colored end that's wound up, and then we've got a side that has either a ball or a loop at the end, depending on the type of tailpiece you have, okay? So, and the type of string that you order. Usually there's only a loop on the E string for most strings, so unless you order it specifically for a tailpiece that has the attachment for the tuner that sticks out, then you're going to get a string with a ball, okay? So as you can see in the peg, there's a little tiny hole, you can see, and that's where we're going to stick the small portion of, or the wound colored portion of the string. For the G string, as you can see that right now the hole is positioned sort of in between the other strings. So we're going to pull the peg out just a little bit, not all the way out. We're going to pull it out enough so that it is in a place where we can get the string in, but it's not overlapping any of the other strings, okay? So we've got it there, and we are going to, you probably can't see, but I'll show you. We're going to stick the string in so it goes all the way through until it sort of stops, okay? So as you can see, it's not overlapping any of the other strings, okay? So once we've got this in here, okay, and it has to go through all the way so that it makes sure that it doesn't get stuck. Now from here, we're going to start to turn the peg away from us, but don't push it in yet, okay? We're going to do a couple of turns without pushing it all the way in, just to make sure that we have it nice and wound, okay? You might have to press in a little bit to make sure that it stays in there, because we don't want it to pop out, okay? So I did one revolution, and then now as we go around, you can start to push the peg further into the hole, okay? So now it's more lined up where it needs to be. And as you press the peg and turn the peg away from you, not all the way, okay, you can see that it started to make a ravel, I don't know. It started to wrap around the peg. Now, you notice I didn't do it all the way, because now we're going to come to the other end where the ball is, and we're going to take the ball and we're going to place it into the wide part of the tailpiece, okay? Once that's in there, you might have to use your other hand to hold underneath the tailpiece. Okay, it's kind of hard to see, isn't it? But I'll show you. You might want to hold the ball underneath the tailpiece so that you can pull the colored portion up through so it catches, okay? See here? So I'll see if I can show you again from this angle. So the ball goes into the hole, and then you draw it up, okay, so it'll catch, okay, so it's nice and firm. So, but I'll do it here, more secure. I like to hold my violin in between my legs so it's nice and secure. And let me get you a better angle here so you can see what I'm doing. All right, here you go. So I got my instrument nice and secure, sticking the ball into the hole. It's still already wrapped around the top of the instrument here. And for me, because this is one of my older violins, the way that it works, I kind of had to push the string into it a little bit and then kind of pull up. But this is not something that you usually have to do. I just think this particular string is a little wide for my tailpiece, okay? So here you go. It's in secure underneath here, and it's partially wound up here. So now what I'm going to do, I take my finger underneath the string, okay, and I start to wind with the other hand, okay, as I tighten. I'm also pressing the peg in just a little bit so that when I start tuning, my peg is not going to wind too loose. Now as I am tightening it, you see there are little grooves here in the bridge. You want to make sure that this string, as it gets tighter, stays in that groove here, okay? You guys are doing a great job. All right, so I'm tightening it. Tightening, 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 tightening. And, okay, now don't tighten it all the way because we're going to use our tuner to make sure that it's in the right spot. But as you can see, okay, the string is positioned in the bridge, in the groove, okay? This is, the string is also like attached into, or the tension is holding the ball into the tailpiece. And as we wound it up, remember we kind of pushed it in so that you can see that it's wound underneath the strings, all right? So we've got our E string, A string, D string, and G string installed in the violin, okay? So that part's finished. Now we need to tune the violin. So if you heard me earlier, you should try and download some sort of tuning app to your phone. I have ClearTune on my phone if you're curious as to what it looks like. I don't know, it's probably hard to see. There it is, right there on the bottom, ClearTune. You can kind of see what it looks like, but go ahead and find that on the App Store or wherever you need to go, or you can find any tuning app that has a strobe tuner, which is a tuner where you play or you sing a pitch like la, and then it shows you whether that pitch is too high or too low. So if you're looking at your app, it's usually got a number, got numbers. I don't know if you can see. Let's see. It's usually got some numbers. There you go. Okay, and you want to try to get the little line or whatever it happens to be to line up on the 0, okay? And mine is kind of handy. It's got a flat sign, which kind of looks like a B, a fancy B, and you've got a sharp sign, which looks like a hashtag, okay? So for the sharp, if it says it's sharp, that means it's too high, and you want to bring it lower. If it says that it's flat, it means it's too low, and you want to bring it higher until it matches the name of the string, and also is on the 0 or as close to the 0 as possible. So I will show you how I do that, if I can. It's going to be a little tricky because I can't hold both at the same time. All right, so let me tune my A, because I just changed that string too, and I can actually hear it. There's a lot of sound going on, so it's hard to see, okay? All right, I'm gonna quickly tune my strings so that they're pretty close, and then I can show you how to tune them as well. But if you remember, we talked about how when you turn the strings, when you turn the pegs away from you, that they are that the strings are going to get tighter. And so when we're talking about sharps and flats or higher and lower, if you turn the pegs away from you, it's going to make the strings go up and therefore get sharper, okay? So most of you at home are going to have what we call fine tuners on the instruments. And that's going to actually make it a lot easier for you to tune the instrument in general, okay? But to get it close, okay, you're going to find your tuner, all right? And you're going to pluck the string, or you can have someone do it with you. If they can hold the tuner. You're going to pluck the string and see where it lines up, okay? So we're looking here on the A, and it looks like it's a little flat, right? So I'm going to turn it just a little bit. It's pretty close. Normally I would just do it with the fine tuner. So I turned it away and it gets a little bit higher, okay? And that's going to bring it to at least closer to our A, okay? We do the same for the D. We're going to make sure that that D is as close as we can get it. Let's see. make it so that you can see. It's a little tricky. I need an assistant for this, I think. But here's the D. It's pretty close. And if you have your fine tuners, okay, once you get it pretty close, you can take the fine tuners. If you turn the fine tuners clockwise, that's going to make it get higher, okay? If you turn it counterclockwise, it's going to make it go lower, okay? So that's basically what you want to do when you tune your instrument, or when you tune your string for the first time after you put it on. You're going to want to make big adjustments with the pegs, okay, until you get it to the right letter name on your tuner. And once it's pretty close, then you can just start using the fine tuners to either make it higher by turning it clockwise, or lower by turning it counterclockwise, okay? So most of your instruments are going to look like this, because most of your instruments are student instruments, okay? So the student instruments have 4 fine tuners, all right? So that's going to make it a lot easier for you to do the tuning. And depending on the type of tailpiece you have, you're either going to do it in a similar fashion to the way that I tuned my own instrument, by sticking the ball into the hole. Okay, this one has both, and it also has a hole where you stick it in and you use the tension in that way. Or you have one, like on this instrument for all 4, where you would need to have a loop for the string, or remove the ball for that, and you actually just hook it around the sort of the pointy part here, instead of sticking it all the way into the hole. Okay, it's also easy to do. But you know what, if you guys have any questions, I'm here anytime. So you can ask me those questions on the Facebook page, or you can message me, and we can have, I can do a message chat with you, either here on Facebook or on Skype or on whatever messaging you need, so that we can work in person and I can make sure that you do this safely. So thanks for tuning in. If you need anything else, I'm here, and I can't wait to get back into the classroom with all of you.